This is why I always point to, was it the Eisenhower speech? Not the one about the military industrial complex, but instead, every dollar spent on a bomb could be a dollar spent on laying bricks back home. Like foreign policy and the money that we spend on foreign policy directly benefit the capital owner class. Okay? That's it. I'm going to unban this person with the hopes that they will listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. That is so crazy. I will unironically replace every New York Democrat in a position of power, every California Democrat within a position of power in the Democratic Party with like some Midwestern pro-labor Dems, dude. Put guys like Sherrod Brown, who obviously is, he's no longer active, but like that style of Democrat would be infinitely better at communicating the desires of the working class. People like, Tim Walz, like these are people who are absolutely better at not coming across like an out of touch, boring dude in a suit. I don't know why anyone thought City Slicker Dems were great communicators to begin with. It's just like they reek of elitism and they demonstrably cannot read the room. I think ultimately when they talk to their constituents, if they talk to them at all, they're talking to the wrong constituents. They're getting their notes from the worst possible people. In my opinion, the bigger issue is not New York CA reps. The issue is that the average age is like 88. I will force retire a primary and Dem over 60. We need those old fucks and how they lead like it is 1982 out of fucking power. They're ruining us because they're so out of touch. That's a bigger issue. I think that's definitely contributing to the problem. And it's not necessarily that they're old. Being old definitely does put you out of touch. But it's also the many decades that you've spent in Congress. The more time you spend in Congress, because, I mean, look at Hakeem Jeffries. He's young. Okay? Hakeem is young in comparison to all of the... He's 54. So he's spry. Okay? He's young and spry. So, and yet he is still having a hard time communicating in a way that makes sense. I think that when you spend a lot of time in Congress, you become infinitely more out of touch because the only people you talk to are lobbyists. And they present a false narrative of how things work. And they delude congressional representatives into believing that they have more broad support than they actually do for the issues that they care about. And many congresspersons don't even care about broad popular support anyway. They just care about eating fancy lunches, eating fancy dinners, getting their children into good schools, and getting their immediate family members into positions of power. Be the Rat says, imagine getting on Twitch to listen to a terrorist and his opinions. Fuck you, Hasan. Let's get this terrorist banned off the platform. Fuck people like Hasan and anyone who supports them. I'm going to unban this person with the hopes that they will listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay? Hasan, don't give them attention. No, it's fine. I mean, people just keep yelling into the void like this, and it's just inconsequential, and they don't understand it, and it makes them more resentful. Weirdly enough, my hope is that one day those people will keep tuning in with hatred in their hearts and eventually go, wait a minute, I kind of agree with this person. And they'll get it. It's like, it's interesting because even when he's saying the right things, I feel like he's so sauceless. I don't know how else to describe it other than it's just like is devoid of charisma at a time when like we do need it. He just kind of always has the energy of a guy who doesn't want to be there. You know, he's just like, oh God. I'm not gonna lie, your domestic political takes are base, but your foreign policy takes are hard to listen to. Do you think this is partly because of your own personal experience with the American hegemonic machine? I think it's also a part of your personal experience with the American foreign policy machine, and also how much consent is uniparty and manufactured in terms of saying America is a objective force of good. And also foreign policy and domestic policy are directly tied to one another. Former leaders in American politics. Former presidents understood this reality. This is why I always point to was it the Eisenhower speech, not the one about the military-industrial complex, but instead every dollar spent on a bomb could be a dollar spent on laying bricks back home. Like, foreign policy and the money that we spend on foreign policy directly benefit the capital owner class. Okay? That's it. We're spending all this money dominating the planet while we could be spending it on ourselves. This is a reality that Donald Trump also uses to his advantage. Americans are responsive to this kind of sentiment. They like this kind of sentiment. That's why Donald Trump keeps saying he is the peacemaker. That's what's so interesting about it. Donald Trump constantly represents himself as a peacekeeper because it is a populist sentiment to express. I mean, he's a liar. He is not a peacekeeper at all. He's simultaneously talking about literally invading Greenland, overtaking Panama Canal, forcibly annexing Canada. Like, he says a lot of stuff, bombing Mexico, declaring the cartel as a terrorist organization so he can like easily bomb Mexico. None of that stuff is obviously isolationist or peacekeeping, and it's expensive, it's costly, it's more war, okay? But at least he markets himself. It's kind of interesting that we have devolved so much that I'm literally saying, like, the Democrats don't even entertain the notion of lying about being peaceful doves, and instead directly lean on how militant they will be. Whereas Donald Trump, on the other hand, lies about being a peaceful dove and then does a metric ton of warfare. But as I've stated time and time again, yeah, Eisenhower's chance for peace speech is what I was talking about. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and those who are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It's spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. The cost of one modern heavy bomber is this: a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. It is 2 electric power plants, each serving a town of 60,000 population. Think about that. Eisenhower did a lot of awful shit, okay? He is not a communist nor a peaceful dove at all. But Americans have lost sight of even communicating this kind of thing. It is 2 fine, fully equipped hospitals. It is some 50 miles of concrete pavement. We pay for a single fighter with 500,000 bushels of wheat. We pay for a single destroyer with new homes that could have housed more than 8,000 people. This is not a way of life at all, in any true sense. Under the cloud of threatening war, it is humanity hanging from a cross of iron. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, it's shocking that this is the state of affairs. God damn, dude. Holy shit.